What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's get started with our first news. In a developing story that's got the MMA world buzzing, Khamzat Chimaev has officially accepted Alex Pereira's challenge to a grappling match, and he's not holding back any confidence. It all began when UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira, alongside his longtime mentor and friend Glover Teixeira, posted a playful skit on Instagram responding to Chimaev's recent callouts. The video quickly went viral, with Glover jokingly telling Khamzat that he could scrap with the legend anytime, anywhere. Pereira then took it a step further, challenging Chimaev to a grappling match under the UFC's recently announced BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, division, a format designed to promote high-level submission grappling among elite fighters. In his video message, Pereira said he wanted to remove any striking advantage from the equation and test Chimaev purely in the grappling arena. "That guy says he wants to fight me, he's far away, but I can go to his area if he wants," Pereira said while looking straight into the camera. "Let's do it in grappling. UFC BJJ, right? Let's make it happen. I don't even care about the money. Whatever I earn will be donated 100% to charity." This call-out came after Chimaev had previously mentioned in an interview that Pereira would be a great matchup for him at 205 pounds, though he admitted Pereira's knockout power was something to respect. Still, Chimaev expressed confidence in his skills, saying he's never been edged out in that area. Not long after Pereira's video dropped, Chimaev wasted no time firing back. Taking to social media, he posted a direct and fiery response: "Let's go. I can submit you both the same night." The post instantly went viral, sparking massive fan reactions and speculation that the two UFC stars could actually face off in a grappling event soon. Whether it happens inside the octagon or on the mats, one thing's certain: a Chimaev vs Pereira grappling showdown would be one of the most exciting cross-style clashes in UFC history. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. The tension between Khamzat Chimaev, Alex Pereira, and Glover Teixeira continues to heat up, as Chimaev has now fired back directly at Teixeira following his playful remarks in a recent video. What started as lighthearted banter between fighters has quickly turned into a full-blown social media exchange that has the MMA community buzzing. In the viral clip posted by Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira, the two former champions responded to Chimaev's previous callouts. Glover, with his trademark humor, teased Chimaev by saying that he could scrap with the legend anytime and anywhere. Pereira then used the moment to officially challenge Chimaev to a grappling match under the UFC's new BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, division. The light heavyweight king even vowed to donate all proceeds from the match to charity, showing both confidence and sportsmanship. However, it seems Chimaev didn't take the comments lightly. Shortly after the video made its rounds online, Khamzat took to X, formerly Twitter, and delivered a fiery response directed squarely at Glover. The undefeated welterweight and middleweight contender wrote, "Glover, uncle, you need rehabilitation." To make his point even clearer, Chimaev attached a photo of Alexander Gustafsson knocking out Glover Teixeira, a clear attempt to mock the veteran and remind him of his past defeats. The jab instantly went viral, drawing mixed reactions from fans. Some found it hilarious and typical of Chimaev's bold personality, while others criticized him for disrespecting a retired legend who has long been admired for his humility and mentorship in the sport. Now, with emotions running high, speculation is growing that this back and forth could eventually lead to something bigger, perhaps an official grappling match or even a UFC promotional event featuring Chimaev and Pereira. If the UFC moves forward with its BJJ division, a Pereira vs Chimaev showdown would be massive. Fans are already debating who would come out on top: Pereira, with his strength and composure, or Chimaev, with his relentless wrestling and submission skills. Either way, the rivalry is officially alive, and the drama between Chimaev, Pereira, and Teixeira shows no signs of slowing down. Move on to another news. UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev has brushed off recent reports that his upcoming opponent, Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, has been training with world-renowned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Craig Jones. While the MMA world buzzed with excitement over JDM's latest training update, Makhachev made it clear that he isn't the least bit worried. During a recent interview, Islam confidently dismissed the idea that bringing in a grappling specialist like Craig Jones could drastically improve JDM's wrestling or ground defense in a short amount of time. "You can't just bring someone in for a couple of months and and suddenly become good, Makhachev explained. It doesn't work like that. You have to train wrestling for many years if you want to be on this level. He even pointed to past examples, mentioning Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev as fighters who've tried adding new wrestling coaches without immediate results. Du Plessis brings a lot of wrestling guys, but nothing changes, Islam added. If somebody wants to prove it, let's see them train for 2 or 3 years, not 2 months. This statement echoes what many experts, including Joe Rogan, have often said, that wrestling at Islam's level requires a lifetime of dedication. No matter how talented JDM is, a short camp with even the best grapplers in the world may not be enough to close that skill gap. Dan Hooker, a teammate of JDM at City Kickboxing, also weighed in during an interview with Sky Sports. He broke down what makes fighters like Islam, Khabib, and Chimaev so dominant. They all do the same thing. They'll try not to get hit on the feet, then land a punch, follow it with a takedown, and once they've got that body lock, it's over. From there, they're heavy on top. They pass guard, wrist ride, and wear you down. Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier offered some advice for JDM, saying that the key to keeping the fight competitive will be defending those early takedowns. Once Islam takes guys down early, they really struggle. The only time it looks competitive is when opponents stop the takedown and force him to strike. With Islam's elite wrestling, powerful kicking game, and composure under pressure, his message is clear: no short-term training camp can prepare JDM for years of Dagestani dominance. Move on to another news. UFC President Dana White has found himself at the center of controversy once again after recent comments he made about money ruining everything in the fight business sparked major backlash from the MMA community. During a recent interview, Dana reflected on the famous Conor McGregor vs. Floyd Mayweather boxing match, claiming that the event, while historic, ultimately hurt the fighters' long-term motivation. White stated that once fighters earn massive paydays, their hunger to compete fades away. Money ruins everything, he said. Once you get too much money involved in the fight business, it changes everything. Conor made so much money, and that was it. Khabib made a load of money, and that was it too. I fought against making that fight for so long, but the fans wanted it so badly, we ended up doing it, and it was awesome. While White praised the event as fun and unforgettable, his remarks about money being a corrupting force didn't sit well with fighters and fans. Many accused him of hypocrisy, pointing out that boxers like Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez, and Manny Pacquiao all continued competing long after achieving financial success, proving that passion, not just paychecks, drives elite athletes. Former UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling led the charge against White's comments, posting a lengthy response on social media. "I know I'd keep fighting if it meant making more money," Sterling wrote. "Fighters put their bodies and lives on the line. The pain, suffering, and glory are all for the back end of things." Dana's basically saying he doesn't want his fighters to get rich because they'll stop fighting. That's not true for Floyd, Manny, or Canelo. Sterling also blasted the UFC's pay structure, mocking Dana's claim that $12,000 to show and $12,000 to win is sufficient. Half that money goes to coaches, gym fees, managers, and debts. What would Dana say about his massive income? More time for him to gamble at casinos, right? He wrote. Fans echoed Sterling's frustration, accusing White of disrespecting Khabib Nurmagomedov, who retired out of loyalty to his late father and mother's wishes, not for money. Others criticized Dana for prioritizing corporate profits over fighter welfare, with one fan summarizing the sentiment: "Money ruins everything for fighters, but not for TKO shareholders. Dana's keeping fighters poor so they never stop fighting. It's disgusting." The backlash highlights a growing divide between the UFC's leadership and its athletes, with many now calling for fairer pay, better treatment, and respect for fighters who make the sport what it is today. Move on to another news. Former UFC women's flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko has opened up about why she publicly defended Joe Rogan after Ronda Rousey made critical comments about him, sparking a heated debate across the MMA world. The situation began when Ronda Rousey made headlines for calling out Rogan, claiming that he isn't a true expert in martial arts but rather a fan with a big audience who never competed. Her remarks quickly went viral, dividing fans and fighters alike. Many sided with Rousey's right to express her opinion, while others defended Rogan's deep knowledge and decades-long involvement in combat sports. One of Rogan's strongest defenders was Valentina Shevchenko. The former champion took to social media to stand up for the longtime UFC commentator, writing, "I see Joe Rogan as a huge expert of martial arts, a noble man, hunter, sportsman, and a good example for the youth." Rogan himself later addressed Rousey's comments on his podcast. True to form, he downplayed any any controversy and said he didn't take offense. "She's entitled to her opinion," Rogan said. "You have to understand why she thinks that way. She's a champion, she's competed at the highest level, and I haven't. I get it. That's totally fine." Following that, during the UFC 322 Media Day, Shevchenko elaborated on her reasons for defending Rogan. She expressed that her decision was rooted in fairness and respect. "I'm for justice," Valentina said. "I like Ronda. She's a great champion and I admire her lifestyle, being close to nature, animals, and her farm life. But in this particular case, I felt it wasn't right to say those things about Joe Rogan." She continued, "Joe is a true example for the youth. He's a real martial artist with a deep understanding of combat sports, a successful man, a talented musician, and an inspiration to many. It just didn't feel right to see him discredited like that. When I feel there's no justice, I can't stay quiet." Shevchenko's defense of Rogan earned her widespread praise from fans who appreciated her balanced and respectful take. In an industry often fueled by drama, her response stood out as a reminder that mutual respect, even in disagreement, still matters in the fight game. Move on to another news. UFC featherweight contender Bryce Mitchell has his eyes set on a massive fight, one that could become a marquee matchup at the rumored UFC White House event. In a recent interview with journalist Helen Yee, Mitchell not only discussed his recent injury but also made a bold call-out aimed at none other than the UFC Bantamweight champion, Sean O'Malley. Just last week, it was reported that Mitchell had broken his nose in training. Rather than seeking professional medical care, he tried to have a friend fix it for him, a decision he now admits was a mistake. "It was my fault," Mitchell said. "I should have told the UFC about it. Hunter Campbell called me the next day and said they would have taken care of everything if I had just let them know." Mitchell revealed that he'll need at least a month to recover fully before resuming training. Despite the setback, Thug Nasty is already thinking ahead to what could be one of the biggest fights of his career. When asked about his ideal opponent for a high-profile card, Mitchell didn't hesitate. "The best matchup they could possibly make would be City Boy versus Country Boy, O'Malley versus Mitchell," he said. "That's the biggest fight out there for me. If you look at the division right now, O'Malley is the biggest name and the best potential opponent I could have." Mitchell acknowledged that he still needs to climb the rankings before such a super fight can realistically happen, but he remains confident that their paths will cross. "I know the UFC will probably give me someone around the top 21st, he explained, "but give it 2 or 3 years, I'll be right up there competing with the top of the division, the biggest names, and the best fighters at 135. The Arkansas native believes the stylistic contrast between him and O'Malley would make for a massive draw. City Boy versus Country Boy, O'Malley's flashy striking and charisma against Mitchell's gritty wrestling and down-to-earth personality. Fans are already buzzing about the potential matchup, with many wondering how O'Malley's dynamic stand-up game would fare against Mitchell's relentless grappling pressure. Whether or not this bout happens at the rumored UFC White House event, one thing is clear: Bryce Mitchell is determined to make it a reality. Move on to another news. UFC President Dana White found himself at the center of an unexpected viral moment when an influencer pulled off a perfectly executed prank during a recent power slap event in Saudi Arabia. The prank, which has since spread across social media, was orchestrated by content creator Easton Simpson, who cleverly disguised himself as a power slap staff member to get up close and personal with Dana White. In the now viral clip, Simpson approaches Dana holding a fake power slap branded microphone, pretending to be part of the official media team. Dana, clearly caught off guard but still maintaining his composure, appeared slightly confused when Simpson began to mumble incoherently during the interview. At first, Dana attempted to answer the initial question, about how the energy had been so far at Power Slap 17, and briefly mentioned that the nearby soccer game had caused heavy traffic before the event. However, as Simpson continued his string of barely understandable questions, things quickly became awkward and hilarious. Dana, clearly struggling to hear or make sense of what was being said, repeatedly asked, "What?" and "I can't hear you." The influencer, staying committed to the bit, kept rambling nonsense about fighters powering up, coming forward, and something about Pushman, leaving Dana completely baffled. Eventually, White simply thanked the fake interviewer, clearly realizing that something wasn't right, but handling it with patience and humor. What made the prank even funnier to fans is that Dana White has often been seen at press conferences asking for questions to be repeated, sometimes multiple times, due to background noise or audio issues. The influencer cleverly used this well-known quirk to make the prank even more believable. Social media exploded with reactions to the clip. Fans flooded comment sections with laughter and praise for Simpson's creativity, noting how calmly Dana handled the bizarre situation despite being caught off guard. guard. In the end, the prank wasn't mean-spirited, just a light-hearted moment that showed a more human side of the UFC boss. It also demonstrated how Power Slap's global expansion is catching attention beyond the sports world, even from pranksters looking to make viral moments. What are your thoughts on the prank? Did Dana handle it well, or was he too patient for his own good? Let us know in the comments below. Speech generated by Verbatic.com.